Now let's talk about objection handling, particularly in the context of appointment making. There are four things you need to think about: scripts, common objections, sending things, and direct questions. Let's talk about scripts. There's two reasons that I want you to focus on a script. I want you to use a script when you begin to make a prospecting call. Now, I know there's a concern about sounding like a script. You need to get over that concern. You write the way you speak, not the way you write. You write your script that way. You write it not the way I speak, but the way you speak. Now, actors take somebody else's words, they memorize them, and they get really, really practiced at them until they sound natural when they say them. You're going to begin with your own words, so it's more easily able to be converted into a very conversational sound. But when you begin with a script, watch what happens. First of all, you're always saying the same kinds of things. You get the same kind of responses. If you always sound nice, you always get nice responses. If you always say, listen, I'd like to get together, you always get a reaction to, I don't want to get together, or I do want to get together, but you get the same kind of reactions, eventually a smaller and smaller and smaller range of reactions, which you get better and better at handling because you know what's coming, and it's a few things that are going to be coming at you. Also, when you script it, you already know what you're going to say, so you're better able to focus on what the other person is saying. You don't have to distract yourself thinking about your own words. Now, the most common thing you're going to get are your most common objections. Basically, they fall into two kinds. There's the not interested objection and the happy now. So not interested would be things like, we're not interested, we have no need, we have no time, we once looked into that, but we found it didn't really work for us, we had a problem with companies in your business, we had a problem with your company. Or happy now, which is happy now, we're all set, we do it ourselves, we do it internally, we work with one of your competitors, with the ABC company, we're already buying it, we're all set. Either way, we're going to answer it by using a strategy which is based in the truth, which is, we currently have very happy customers, some of whom, way back when we first contacted them, said the same thing you're saying, that they're not interested or that they're happy now. Until they got to know us, they realized that, we have advantages, there are benefits of working with us. We've actually complemented what they were already doing and, in fact, improved the overall effect. And so we're going to report that story in the fewest number of words. We're going to say something like this if they say not interested. We're going to say others have said that before they saw how we could benefit them. If they said, well, we're all set, we've already got it, we're using our own internal resources to replicate what you're selling, we're going to say others have said they used their own internal resources until they saw how we could complement what they're getting from their internal resources. And I could use other words as well. Complement, enhance, add to, contribute to, match, fit in, work with, improve. But watch, it's a true story. And so the only thing is I'm going to, instead of being generic with my turnarounds, in fact, I'm going to go the other way. I'm always going to customize it so that my turnaround matches up literally to what they just said. So if they said not interested in this form, we don't have enough money to pay for that kind of service right now. I might say, others have said that before they saw how affordable some of our packages are. Others have said that before they saw how we could work within their budget. You see what I'm doing? When I literally match up what they've said with what I say, it sounds more like I'm listening and it works better. Now, if they say send something, I'm going to be tempted to go, okay. But if I just say okay, I'm not going to end up with the appointment, which is what I really want. And so what I might say is, I'd rather get together instead has Tuesday at 3. I'd rather get together instead has Tuesday at 3, and I'm communicating in a way that really says, I do want to get together. And I find that most of the people who have this knee-jerk reaction to sales calls, which basically is this almost mindless script that they have, where they just simply ask for the other person to send them something, and most salespeople will cave in and go, all right. But we're not. We're going to take that chance and say, you know what, I'd prefer getting together instead. And 1 in 10, 1 in 20, some number is going to say yes, which is already going to put you ahead of where you would be if you didn't say that. By the way, a softer version of that might be, I could send you something and get together. How about we get together as well? And then I could go over the literature with you. But I prefer the other one because more often than not, as soon as you say I'll send and get together, they opt for, well, why don't you just send and I'll read, and if I like, then you can come over. And if they ask a direct question, the kind of question that I wish they would ask in a meeting, like, well, what makes you different? What makes you better? How much does it cost? I would much rather address that in a meeting, but here they are asking over the phone, and if I don't answer, they're not really as happy as if I did answer. Because it sounds like, why am I not answering? Is there a bad answer? Why are they not telling me how much money is it? Is it too expensive? And so I'm going to begin to answer. But I'm going to interrupt myself and ask my own question. I'm going to ask what I call a do-based question, something about what we do that helps other people do things better. For example, if I help people save time, I'm going to ask the customer, what kind of things do you do to help save time? So that I could talk about what we do to help customers save time or money or gain a competitive edge. So watch how it works. The customer says, Steve, what makes your company different? Well, there's two differences. There's this and that. But before I continue, can I ask you what you're doing now to gain a competitive edge over your competitors? Well, Steve, how much does it cost? Well, companies like yours tend to spend between X and Y per day. But can I ask you what you're doing now to make your people more productive? Do you see what I'm doing? I'm answering their question, and then I'm interrupting myself to ask a do-based question, which brings us back to a conversation I would much rather be on, what we could do to help them make more money or experience the benefits of working with us. And if you do all these things and practice these skills, you will become unbeatable on the phone handling any objection.